In this video, we're going to start thinking about how we can work with percents and what they mean in a pretty general way. We're going to write down another more precise definition tomorrow, but for right now, let's say the percent just means how much out of 100, that 100 being the key part there. So for example, if someone had a 45% free throw percentage, that would mean that you would expect them to succeed in making the shot 45 out of every 100 times. So if they went out and shot 100 free throws, you would expect them to make approximately 45 of them. So it's important to remember that percents are just a special type of ratio where the denominator is always fixed at 100. So let's go ahead and just convert some percents into ratios and back and forth. So if you had 13%, that would be the ratio or fraction 13 out of 100. And if you had the ratio 29.5 out of 100, that would be 29.5%. Go ahead and fill in the two blank spots on your own. Check and see if you got them right. Should have had 8 out of 100 and 99%. So then how do you find a percent if it's not already given to you out of 100? Because usually it's not, right? Life doesn't just walk around in convenient groups of 100. Usually we have other numbers that we need to work with. So let's say, for example, that you scored, let's not do 7. Let's say you scored 9 out of 10 on a quiz, and you're interested in finding your percent. Well, remember that percent literally means something out of 100. So I'm going to set this up as a proportion. I'm going to say 9 out of x equals how much out of 100. And then that's, of course, going to tell me that it's x percent. Well, 10 is a pretty nice number. I can see that if I use my skills from earlier in this unit, I can just scale this up by multiplying by 10. And then do the same thing on the top. And 10 times 10 gives me 100. That's what I wanted. That was the point. And 9 times 10 would give me 90. So 90 out of 100 would tell me that I got 90% of the problems correct on the quiz. Let's try another example like this. So let's start with a little review. Go ahead and pause, and if you know how to do this, do it now. So a student answers 14 out of 20 questions correctly on a quiz. What percent did they get correct? So let's turn this into our ratio where we have a part to the whole equals the percent out of 100. And let's identify what our different parts are. So we were told 14 out of 20. So 14 is the part and 20 is the whole. And we're asked to find what percent did they get correct. We're asked to find the percentage. So let's fill it in. And so now we need to solve our proportion. So we're trying to figure out how many times does 20 go into 100. Can we scale this up evenly? Looks like we can because it goes in exactly 5 times. And if you weren't sure about that, you could use long division by dividing 100 by 20 and getting 5 to see where that number comes from. So then we need to do 14 times 5, which gives us 70. So that tells us that she got 70% correct. Later this week, we're going to learn another method for solving this sort of problem where you're given the part in the whole and you're asked to find the percent. But often this is the quickest way. Sometimes there's another way that we're going to learn about too, but this is always going to work. Okay, and now for your practice problem. Let's say that our dear friend Toby broke 2 out of his 25 pencils. What percent of the pencils are broken? Make sure to show your work using a ratio, even if you think you can do it in your head. We will check this problem in class together tomorrow.